You ever just watch a kid's show and think, dang, that was heavy? Sup, I'm Stevie Something, and I'm a dad. Yep, I did it. I made offspring. And because of the children, I've had this distinct pleasure of watching children's programming, choking out my last brain cells. Now, as you would expect, most of the new stuff is hot trash. Garbage. You know, it's not like the stuff we grew up with. Back in my day, we smoked cigarettes, walking to school both ways, fighting goblins. But there is one show that stands out amongst all of them. Kind of balances out the trash meter. It's Bluey. Bluey. You probably knew that based on the pictures on that. Now, if you've clicked on this, I'm assuming you've seen Bluey or, you know, at least know of Bluey. But if you don't, it's this kid show from Australia about these bipedal dogs that speak English with an accent because they're from Australia. So they're like, oi, Vegemite, Max and Ruby. I can't do a good Australian. Oi, you graduate. So anyway, Bluey. Now, I don't say this lightly. This show slaps. They should have named it a pup named Schlappy Doo. It's that good, I swear. It lives up to any of the hype you've seen online. And anybody that says otherwise probably commits tax fraud. Now, I'm not one of those Bluey adults that like worships the show like it's some kind of deity. I just think it's fun. It's a good show. I'm gonna admit, like if my kids leave the room, I'm probably gonna keep watching it. I get lost in it. I mean, it's a good show. It's got a good story. It's got some fun little stuff. It makes me reflect on life. It makes me think about how am I parenting? Can I be better? It's funny. It's just good stuff. And the theme song? Chef's kiss. If you're never gonna watch a show, just go listen to that theme song and tell me you don't feel like a little, you know? And to wrap it all up, the episodes are like 6-7 minutes long. But for as feel good as this show is, sometimes an episode drops and it'll just ruin your day. I mean, ruin it. Just staring at the screen, battling an existential crisis. At the end of the episode, sometimes you're just gonna be staring blankly, ears ringing like a Saving Private Ryan flashback. I swear. In 7 minutes, they ruin you. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, come on, buddy, you're hyperbolizing a little bit. To which I would say, good job. That's a big word. I would also say, sit down and shut up, you big word-using nerd. So let's start. We're going to start easy, work our way up. I'm going to talk about 3 episodes. The first episode I want to talk about is titled Camping. It's this cute little episode about, you guessed it, the gut-wrenching heartbreak of lost friendship. So there's Bluey, our main doggy, the one the show's named after, you idiot. Bluey's camping with her family. So she's out and about and playing, and she goes to collect some sticks to build like a fort or something, and she comes across another dog. This dog is French. His name is Jean-Luc. I think. I'm not going to rewatch the episode for this. I've been through enough. But because of the Frenchness, they can't communicate well. He's all like, oui, quoi ça? And Bluey's like, oi! So they can't communicate well. Anyway, as the episode rolls on, they learn to communicate in a way like only, you know, true friendship allows. You know, like you just unspoken bond. They draw pictures on rocks with clay, figuring out how to build stuff. They even find a seed and plant it in the ground and water it, you know, with the hopes that it grows. Like that's adorable. Like the friendship grows. Like, you know, metaphors. And that's about the time where the episode starts drawing these parallels between the family. Hey, they're from different parts of the world, but they operate the same way. And then you just start getting all introspective and you're like, dang, man, these dogs they're just like me. They're probably struggling financially. Anyway, day after day they play. Dinner bell rings, they both go dinner, they go to bed, they wake up, they come back. Wash, rinse, repeat. Easy. Until the dinner bell rings one more time. Bluey turns to Jean-Luc and says, see you tomorrow, mate. And Jean-Luc, all Frenchy, says, no. No, in French. I don't know how to say no in French. No. You can only assume Jean-Luc says something like, nah, I'm sorry, we're out. My family's bouncing. I'm never going to see you again. And Bluey's like, see you tomorrow, because of the language barrier, you know? Bluey runs off to dinner, and you're just left with the scene of Jean-Luc. You're already a little sad, because you know it's coming. But Bluey doesn't. And they really gotta hurt your heart. So now Bluey wakes up the next morning all pumped, runs out to find that little seed they planted. This means growing into a plant. It sprouted, that's the word. So now Bluey's pumped and runs off to find Jean-Luc. Running everywhere, just running, Jean-Luc! Jean-Luc! Can't find Jean-Luc. Runs to her mom, says, yo, where's my boy? Mama dog turns around and says, yeah, dude, they bounced. That family had to go. And Bluey is crushed. And Mom hits us with this one-liner.
Sometimes special people come into our lives, stay for a bit, and then they have to go. But the bit where they were here was happy, wasn't it?
Oh, we're not done. Episode's wrapping up with this sequence of the plant growing more. And it cuts to an older Bluey, years later, reading a book under the tree. And then it ends with a simple, hello, Bluey. from an older Jean-Luc. They're reunited. Man, I mean, surface level this hits, but I mean, this episode jacked me up. I'm sitting there thinking about all the friends who have come and gone over the years. Their faces just playing in my head. And I always look back fondly thinking, what would I give to have, one more moment, to see them again. Reunite under that metaphoric friggin' tree they built. They don't build trees. They grow trees, you freaking moron. 7 minutes. All of that happened. 7 minutes. These guys seriously said, hey, yo, how long does it take to make pizza rolls? And someone said, yo, cut that in half and ruin somebody's day. 7 minutes. I think it's 50. Don't fact check me on the pizza roll thing. I think it's probably 15 minutes oven, maybe 14. Which is half. Half is 7. So, yeah, F you. We're getting heavier up in here. Just like a, So the next episode's called Onesies. Like clothes that are one piece. Mostly babies wear them, but some adult people do. I haven't, but I would imagine it's very difficult to go to the bathroom with. It opens up with the kid's aunt, Brandy. She's at the door getting ready to knock, and you see she's all taking deep breaths and stressed. She knocks on the door and preps herself to meet the family. The kid's mom introduces the kids to Brandy, which you're like, hey, they don't know their aunt? Okay, that's a little weird, but whatever. During the introductions, Brandy looks at Bingo, who is Bluey's little sister, and just kind of like loses her words because she can't believe how much they look alike. And when I first watched this, I thought this implied that Brandy messed around with their dad. That wasn't the case. That would have been wild, though. And I wouldn't run it by him. Season 4 is they might have something about infidelity. I don't know. But anyway, so she's all awestruck, looking at Bingo like, holy cow, this thing looks like me. She then proceeds to gift the kiddos some onesies, therefore the name. And the kids wind up wanting the other one, right? Like Bluey wants Bingo's, Bingo wants Bluey's. That's how it works out. It's like a zebra and a cheetah. I don't know. Now as the kids are running around, Brandy's looking at them and goes, I can't believe how much they've grown in. Her sister cuts her off and says, 4 years. Oh, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good one. 4 years. And like a come on, bro kind of way. And immediately Brandy wants to apologize, but the kids pull away the attention. And throughout the episode, there's many of these moments where Brandy's trying to say, like, I'm sorry for being absent. But they keep getting interrupted by the kids. They're playing. It's awesome. It's like this cute way to keep this heavy thing that we know is happening and lighthearted. It's kind of a good mix, In between those, like the mom keeps throwing in these passive-aggressive, like jabs, like, yo, it's been 4 years. You haven't seen your nieces in 4 years, Comes in with this jab where Bluey's like, hey man, like, do they have other onesies? I want the one that Bingo has. And then Brandy, very sincere, hits her with like I'm sorry, kiddo. The last time I saw you, zebras were your favorite animal. And Chili's like, yeah, 4 years ago. So now Brandy's all jacked up. She's sad. And she's like, yo, I'm a bounce. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be here. My bad. I'm out. But then Bingo interrupts. She tackled. Mom and Bluey run off. Bingo and Brandy are together. Mom and Bluey are hiding. Now the mom's hiding. She's not really acknowledging the Brandy thing. They're playing the game. But then Bluey's like, nah, I'm not letting that slide. She's like, why does Auntie Brandy want to leave? She's like, yo, why does Auntie Brandy want to leave? Like, what happened? What was that? Why have we only seen her once in our life? Heavy questions. Like, heavy questions. And let me tell you something. If you don't have kids or you haven't interacted with kids, they don't play games. They cut you down to the core. They ask questions. They call out things that you dance around all day. They're going to come up and be like, yo, why aren't you working on yourself? Why aren't you being better? And you're like, and then you sit there and you're like, damn, why am I the way I am? They're brutal. So anyway, Chili, their mom, hits Blue with this metaphor to be like, oh, you know how the onesies, how you want it, but you can't have it. And then she alludes to the fact that it's tough for Brandy to see her nieces because she can't have kids. She's infertile. 7-minute episodes. I swear, I know you might not know it if you haven't seen the show. The show's fun. Like, super fun. But good God, when they swing, you're like, nah, you're not gonna make me sad. It's like, yo, oh! I shouldn't have done that. They swing, is the point. So anyway, the episode wraps. Sisters rekindle a relationship. All good in the hood. Everything's great. One more, then I'm done. Okay? I saved the one I think about most for last, though. Like this, I still don't know the answer. The episode's called Space. Like the stuff in the sky at night. It opens up with 3 pups, Jack, Rusty, Mackenzie, and they're preparing to play space. So they head into their ship, which is like a little rowboat on the grass. Mackenzie is the chief scientist, whose role is confusing. I think he fixes the ship and like goes and explores. The point is, often he's off out of the ship on this little tether, which is a rope. He's out. exploring. He's floating out in space to repair damages, and he all of a sudden calls in, yo, an asteroid's coming, it's gonna smack us. He gets dislodged from his tether and disappears. His boys go, they rescue him and get him back. Like, yo, what happened with that? Like, tethers are strong. We don't understand how that would break. And we didn't see that asteroid coming. How did you know all this stuff was happening? All this is imagination, by the way. I mean, it's a cartoon about dogs from Australia. But there's no dogs in Australia. It's probably taking me longer to explain these episodes than if you were just to watch it. But don't you dare leave me. These episodes jacked me up and I need your support, okay? So as the episode rolls on, Mackenzie keeps finding reasons to go out of the ship, tether breaks, disappears. And his friends are like, yo, where do you keep going? How does this keep happening? And then Jack's like, yo, I think you're straight up untying the tether. I don't think it's breaking. Jack's smart. And Mackenzie's like, yeah, you know what? I did. I want to pretend like you were leaving me behind. And the other dogs are like, and he's just like, so they head back to their ship one more time to engage in hypersleep, which is a fake nap. They just lay there with their eyes closed. I don't remember a lot of the playing I did as a kid, but I can tell you fake sleeping outside was definitely not one of the things I did. I've also never been a dog from Australia. So of course, while Jack and Rusty are sleeping, our boy Mackenzie's like, yo, we're just in course. We're going for that black hole. And it cuts to Mackenzie standing in front of this black hole, which is a tire tunnel. And you know he's battling the call of the void right now. He's battling demons. A lot of similarities between adult people and Australian dogs, apparently. Anyway, my boy is battling demons, and his boys are like, yo, bro, we're gonna go with you. He goes, no, I gotta do this myself. He enters slowly, and as he's progressing, just gets blinded by this white light. And when the light settles, he emerges at the bottom of a slide, years younger. He's a toddler dog, puppy thing. And he's looking for one thing, his mom. Mom? And then he looks down and he goes, my mom left me behind. Oh my God. Like, we just abandoned this dog. Like, this mom just straight up left the kid at the park and left. Like, I know that happens, but oh my gosh. Like, I'm watching this happen. His mom really just up and left. How could it get worse? He's then greeted by an adult woman dog. A bitch. And she's like, your mom didn't leave you, dude. She's right over there. Right there. So now I'm like, oh, this is a dumb flashback. Like, what was the whole point of making me feel feelings? The other woman dog then continues.
Mackenzie, you know what's here now. You don't need to keep coming back to this place.
And then the flash emerges, and the friends are back, and I'm... what the fuck? So did his mom die? Was this his last memory? Did she leave him at the park then die? How am I left with so many questions in 7 minutes? How do they do this to me? Listen, I really enjoy this show. I think it's lighthearted and happy and a good reminder to not be an all-around schmuck, right? But when these few episodes roll in... So that's it. I hope I ruined your day. Help me get a minivan by clicking like and subscribe and sharing with your grandma. Tell your dog from Australia. Okay? All right. Okay. Love you. Bye.